Hello, and welcome back to this section of the Halig tree where you climb around on rooftops and roofs a bunch. I think it's kind of a confusing segment because, well, confusing is not really the right word, but it has a lot of paths, so it's easy to get a little bit lost, I think. And it's hard to know precisely the intended path, but it's fun. I enjoy this area. It's not a lake of rot, so it's kind of nice. But today, I'm hoping I can get most of the way to Malenia, because I think Malenia is not far. I don't know if I have to jump here. Yeah, I could have hopped onto that from over there. So I think I just squandered the advantage of climbing up there, but that's fine. It's not actually important. Yeah, because that's still here, which gets me up there. There might be something that I didn't spend much time there. There might be something else up there that I missed. Let's just check real quick. But today will be, I think this is about it. Today will be exploration. Ah yes, this gets me down to that zone. I guess I'll do that first before I go through here, because this is not far from a Grace anyway. But I'm going to be using this weapon for a little bit, because last time I ended very distracted trying to just find other strike weapons to use for the purpose of variety. So yeah, you can drop through the roof there, so I'm not going in there right now. Yeah, my goal now is... Ugh, that's really mediocre. It's not terrible, it's just not as good as it feels like it should be. Ugh. Yeah, I figured. Well, actually I didn't figure, but I shouldn't have tried to heal. That was greedy. That didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. Maybe I should put a different Ash of War? Because I'm never going to effectively use Endure, so... Are there any that are fun? I don't know what Golden Land does. I assume it's gonna give, like... I guess I could do this? Heavy increases the scaling a lot. I mean, again, I still don't actually have the base strength to use it properly, but 400 an additional 110 scaling, losing like 50 base. That was just 60 damage for free. Yeah, down here. So I can see right where I died. I wonder if I can probably just drop down, huh? What's the point of that ladder then? If you can just sort of... I know this is the item on the left. I'm more focused on getting back to where I was. I mean, this is definitely not better than an actual int weapon. Why? I'm mostly kind of... I guess I didn't check it beforehand and I didn't have to roll earlier. It's kind of not bad. It's kind of not that interesting of a strong attack. It's good because it has a lot of range. Oh, I was out of stamina. Oh, this is weird. Ooh, that's weird. So, slow roll. The attack comes out a lot faster than it feels like it should. Because it feels like it should wait until you're back up. But it does it like while you're still halfway through the roll visually. Which is funny. Also, I'm way too heavy. Good. Can roll now. But today will just be will probably just be exploration. I don't think I'll get to Malenia. Exploration means, exploration does just mean not a lot going on. This is the buff. Oof, just out of reach. I think it's kind of a mediocre strong attack because it's so... like it doesn't have good AoE. Like it didn't hit the guy that I was... I hate this weapon because I can't see the enemy. I think it's a bad weapon just because of that. That's enough of a reason for me to think it's kind of bad. Like actual like... impact the ability to play the game on a basic level. Whoop. Oops. Yeah, I upgraded it a bunch. I don't think it's very good because it makes it too hard to see if you're locked onto a short enemy. Because it just takes up too much screen when you're like this close, which happens a lot. It's way too big. Which is, I guess, sort of the key difference between it and like a... Swords are better because they block your screen less. Yeah, so just walk around. I'll use it for a little tiny bit longer, but... Can I see the post-buff stats there? It doesn't look like I can. It's a pretty good R2 combo because you actually get the second R2 guaranteed against enemies like this, as opposed to an R2 that launches them and then that's that. Once they fall, once they've been hit by the R2, they fall on their back and then you can't follow up because they're immune. Pretty good jump attack. Very good. Okay. Mikila's Lily. Okay. Will a charged R2 hit all three? Nope. It hit two of them, which is pretty good, but... yeah, the stagger is pretty good. It's probably better to R2 there instead of take the crit, if it would let me get the secondary R2 guaranteed after. I should test that, because if it can, then that's a pretty simple decision. Not loving the weapon. It's variety. It's nice. It mostly works differently than most swords, so it's worth the change. But also this area is... okay, this section is basically done, which is good. So here's the test. 1, 2, I'm out of stamina. 1, I mean I was out of stamina, but if I had more stamina because I had planned around using weapons like this, that would be better to not critical. Which I think is sort of an issue in this game. Like, It's not a huge issue. But sometimes it is just better to not take a critical and instead do an R2, or really multiple R2s in the time that you would get. It's just kind of, it's a little bit of a shame, but it is interesting when the enemy, when you can hit them a couple times, and then if you're quick enough, you can still take the critical. Like, that is kind of interesting because it adds, you know, risk reward sort of feeling of you get a few extra hits that do more damage. Do I have the other heal? Yes, I do. You get a few extra hits with more damage. But if you take too many of them, you can't get the critical. So there's a point where you want to stop attacking to get the critical. Oh, because I switched my shield so it stopped two-handing it. It's pretty fun. It's like appropriately different. Ooh. It has enough reach too, that it's not bad. Just the camera is the only real negative. Ooh, that's a lot of not okay. And then definitely a critical here because any extra damage would be useless because he should be dead, I think. I guess kind of a slight interesting facet of these games. Like, okay, should I go for something that could do more damage? Should I go for this, that, the other thing? Like, it's kind of neat. How, tiny, minor, meaningless, practically speaking, meaningless optimization is neat. It doesn't matter. Like, if I'd swung an R2 there, it would have taken probably longer. But it would have barely been, it wouldn't have been a meaningful amount longer. But just thinking about that for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to explore the other side of the church. It's not really a church. It's more like a, because it's not a separate building. Like it would be like the church wing as opposed to a church. Is sort of how I would view that. Actually, it is a fall to my death for sure, but okay, there is just water down there. I was expecting maybe there'd be solid land that you'd fall to your death on. But no, nothing. I think this is not the weapon to use here. Although, sneaking it works pretty well. Because it's a horizontal swing. I love being able to sneak. Going back to the older games where you can't sneak like this, it was kind of rough. These guys don't get staggered. Like, they don't get, I was able to hit him when he was on the ground from from a normal attack. Whereas most of the time I don't think you can do that. But maybe it's something that I'm disregarding. It's weird because they have arms and legs. Like, those are 4 arms, 2 legs. I mean, about 1,000 small arms. But they have legs. It's not just arms. That's weird. And they have front-reaching arms. They've got little pincers or mandibles. They have a conical head. Wonder what purpose that serves. They're pretty gross. Bugs are gross. I think bugs are one of the worst living creatures on Earth. Earth. There's a few that are grosser than others. And there's some that aren't even really that gross. Can I buff without drawing aggro? Good. Run. Oh, slightly off on the sound cue. I might die. He didn't shoot me. If he shot me, I would have died. I don't think I would have had time to dodge. Yeah, that's rude. Well, that was lucky. Half of his... I think there's a spell called Pest Threads. So half of his, like, threads would have, like, just totally missed. Bugs are gross. Real bugs are gross. Fake bugs are gross. Some bugs are, well, bugs, insects, they're all... Bug is not a thoroughly defined term, but insect is. Whatever. I'm going to talk about bugs, because I don't know the line on what is an insect. Whereas I think bug is very vague to begin with. But, like, bugs that aren't gross, there's a certain, like... I think some animals, the bigger they are, the less gross they are. Or some bugs, the bigger they are, the less gross they are. Like, beetles? Of course, I'm not talking, like, something that's crawling on the wall inside your house when you don't expect it. That's not... A big beetle crawling inside your house when you don't expect it would be terrifying, probably. Especially if you live in a place where giant beetles don't live. Like, I think most of Canada doesn't have giant rhinoceros beetles native. Bet there's people that keep them as pets and such, but... Like those, I think... Well, I think I wouldn't want it on my hand more than a smaller beetle, but I think a smaller beetle is more likely to be kind of, for lack of better words, creepy. Because, like, once it's big enough, you can keep track of it. This is kind of a different case for spiders, which are definitely not insects because they're arachnids, and I think arachnids are not insects specifically, but... Spiders... Oh, there's a path there. Spiders... I think tiny itty-bitty spiders... Okay, there's nothing there, probably. I'll check, but... Like itty-bitty jumping spiders? Not, like, great, because they're still spiders, but they're not that scary. Then you get bigger. You get to, like, black widows and that sort of size. That's kind of scary. And then you get real big. And I think it's the only thing that makes really big spiders less scary, creepy, gross to me is that less of them are bite you and you're dead. Like tarantulas, I think have venom, but they're not prone to biting people. And I think even if they do, it might not be lethal. But they're big. There's wolf spiders that are very large in Australia, but they're they're welcomed because they will eat other worse pests. They're welcomed in a... People that aren't afraid of spiders welcome them because... I mean, people who are afraid of spiders will still be afraid of spiders, so it's not going to change that. Hope I don't die. Good. Oh, that's annoying. Let's go with buff. And just try to kill the big guy. Oh, that was lucky. Because most of them missed. Oh, that guy didn't die. Oh well. That's fine. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman is great. That's the thing that I will eventually equip. Swap with this. Enormously boost physical damage negation from increased damage taken will be huge. It'll be nice. And I want that giant shift. Like, I explicitly want the shift from increased damage to enormously reduced damage. Ugh, I hate this. He shouldn't be able to see me, but he can. Oof, got me. I was hoping that I could move, that the strong attack would move me forward enough to dodge the threads, but it was not nearly enough. I think it was worth trying though. I've learned that it's not enough now, and I won't try it again. But that's a later issue. Well, that's not a later issue, it's a right now issue, but it's learning something that doesn't really matter. Where'd I go? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking about bugs now. Okay, so I want to go up this way. I want to not forget that I need to kill the guy up above. Yeah. And like, within the collection of bugs that are common in Canada, I would say house centipedes are among the worst. House centipedes are pretty gross. Because they have... I mean, they're just kind of really gross looking. And gross moving, unpleasant in just about every way. I don't know... other than places that have to deal with black widows and like actually dangerous spiders, I don't know if there's bugs that are semi-commonly seen that are grosser in my mind than house centipedes. House centipedes, I don't know. These are worse, obviously, but given that it's fiction and all that, they're kind of on the level of these types of creatures, with the fact that they are actually real. They're very unpleasant creature, like unpleasant looking, unpleasant how they move, all like skittery. I think right down here is Malenia, maybe? I don't want to fight Malenia today, but if there's nothing else to explore back there, then it's Malenia time almost. There's a side path there that I can do though. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna fight Malenia. I think I'm gonna go Moonlight Greatsword, probably. The biggest issue with that will be keeping the buff going, because having to reactivate it regularly is just kind of gonna be awkward. But it's gonna be time to just fight Malenia for an extended period. I bet there's nothing here. Yep. What did they say? Liar ahead preemptively. Because it didn't look like the type of place that would actually have anything. Like it's not an illusory wall aesthetically. It doesn't have that aesthetic correctly. That FPS feels a little weird. And then this is that middle place here. Okay. So I guess there's a couple places to check. I think there's nothing left that I missed. I actually want to check under here. Nothing? Good. Did I rest at the Grace? I hope I didn't, because that would be a waste of time. I'm gonna go back. Though, I think the only place to explore that I think I might have missed was... Actually, no, it's here. The upper root areas. So I think that's all that I have to explore. And then it will be time for Malenia, which I guess I'll preemptively just locate weapons. I'm gonna try not to jump attack, because that's kind of boring. I'm gonna go with a better looking helmet. Not a better functional, but just better looking. I think this was my favorite one. I actually really like the aesthetic of perfumers in this, because it fits well between the two. Doesn't look like stuff is too mismatched. The colors aren't perfect, but I'm not a color theory expert, so maybe the colors are perfect. So I think there's nothing here. There's no way to jump all the way across that. Yeah, I can't jump across to there. I explored both sides. I almost fell right there. That would have been pretty bad. I already explored both sides of the church wing of the building. I already got the item there. I think... No, I got the item on the other side as well. I guess there's one place, the other side. After dropping down, I dropped on the right side. There might be something on the left. Or I guess the north side. Oh, this isn't aligned north-south. Oh, I don't like that. It's aligned to the, like, northeast-ish. Northeast would be there. It's aligned there. Ugh. I mean, it's fine. It's functional. Because in reality, you don't have a compass at all times. So there's actually nothing wrong with aligning it the way they did. But I just wish that it was aligned on like a north-south alignment. I mean, it is around a big tree, so makes sense that it isn't. I was talking about bugs, though. Because bugs are... I hate bugs, but there's a few interesting creatures. Like, yeah, I think this is it for the trees. I think this is everything. Unless there's something under there. Like, as a kid, I was less afraid, uncomfortable with bugs and insects. I would actually, like, grab grasshoppers, which I think I could still catch a grasshopper now and it wouldn't gross me out, other than the fact that I'd have to wash my hands afterwards, because they are just kind of gross. But other than that, I could totally grab a grasshopper. I wouldn't grab an ant, because I think in grade 1, 2, or 3, something like that, in one of the early grades of school, I had grabbed an ant on my hand and it bit me. And that was unpleasant. Okay, I don't think there's anything down there. But I am uncertain. But yeah, this weapon is a lot worse for staggering enemies compared to what I was using. So that was actually rougher. So anything on the left? Doesn't look like it. Nothing here. Good. Anything aggroed? No. Perfect. Okay, I guess it's time to start Malenia. So, this might come into play. It shouldn't. Like, realistically, it won't be that beneficial, I think. This could be useful. I don't think that's going to be useful at all. That might be nice if I heal consistently to full HP, but I don't think it would actually help against the waterfowl dance. Because the first hit from the waterfowl dance would break it. So I think what I want to do is swap this for this. I'll do one run with that first. Basically proof of concept of how impactful it is. To sort of feel the change in squishiness. Should definitely level up. Perfect time. I started leveling Vigor again at the perfect time to get to 40 for this fight. Next I'll be leveling Strength till at least 50, maybe 60 for that hammer, just because. But I think at this point levels don't matter that much. Like, it matters, but I mean, everything could be beaten with less levels than I already have, so I don't need to worry about that. I mean, I could just have both of them equipped. That might even be the best choice. Have this equipped on top of that instead of swapping it? Sure, that's probably the better choice. I'm missing a talisman slot. I don't think... I might not be missing one. It just feels like I should have one more than I do. I think this first attempt is going to be bad. I'm going to go in not buffed because I don't know how cutscenes interact with buffs. So I'll try to buff once the fight starts. Because I'm pretty sure there's an extended cutscene, and I think it might be in the world, so it doesn't pause everything. Yeah, I think in like 10 hours, when I actually beat this boss, maybe 15, probably not that long, hopefully, when I eventually beat it. Who knows how long it will take. Once I beat it, the only really, like, obnoxiously hard boss will be Moog. Fire Giant's annoying, but, like, it's mostly just annoying. The final boss isn't very fun, but at least my previous playthrough, it wasn't that hard. Like, I think I beat Elden Beast in 2 or 3 tries, and
I dreamt for so long.
Radon took like 10 or 20. I think I should start tracking deaths for this.
My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted.
Okay.
Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return.
It's a little framey. I'm alt-tabbed.
Heed my words. I am Malenia, Blade of Mikola.
It's not at all a functional size, but I need to get back into the game and I'll figure it out after this. I need to actually be, you know, ready to fight. I think I should have time to buff.
I have never known defeat.
How'd you lose your arm then? I guess she lost her arm to the rot? Oh. Okay. It's weird. It's totally fine. I was like, oh, I'm assuming I'm going to start where you know, more or less where you usually start. Near the entrance. Where you have time before she instantly dashes at you. I would honestly not count that as a death, but it does count. So I'm going to fix that. What is this doing? I'm going to figure it out. And then I'll be back. The audio will skip. Oh, that should now work. I'll have to update it every time, but because I'm doing it live, because then I can actually track it more easily. But it's fairly straightforward. It's weird how OBS works to me. Like, if you want it to not look awful, you have to have like font size 256 and then squeeze it down. Which makes sense, because the font size is dictating the number of pixels and whatever, so. Okay, in I go. Real boss fight. I'm gonna try. I hate this boss. Come on, do something. I'm gonna have to get back into the swing of this. And that damage is good. There's a specific combo that's very awkward to dodge. That isn't, you know. There's a specific dash into triple attack that's awkward. That was bad. I was greeting. Like, I don't feel terrible about that death. But I only ever did it with not strong attacks. It's jump attacks primarily for damage. So I need to learn the opportunities for strong attacks. So that one, I can't adjust before I strong attack, but I think I can probably strong attack If I strong attack right after, I'm probably good. I don't think I can adjust to be closer to get the blade and the beam. I hate that she just stands around though. It's really annoying. Like, it's such a waste of time. Okay, no. It staggered, but that I think was relatively lucky that it staggered. So I definitely can't get a strong attack in there. Or not a charged strong attack. Maybe a quick one. That attack is awkward, and I'm bad at dodging it. Like if you're walking back enough there, I think you're good. I think if you're walking straight back. So if I go for a quick one, I think I'm good. I'm gonna let the runes die, because I'm gonna be fighting her long enough that I will probably lose them eventually. So yeah, keeping this buffed is gonna be really awkward. I should also figure out where I have the time to buff safely. I can definitely buff here. And I think the jellyfish buff is reasonably safe. I mean, that's definitely safe. Can I do this? I think that was greedy. I think there's a chance that she could punish that. I think that's totally safe. Did that counter a waterfowl dance? That was a terrible decision anyway, but was she about to waterfowl dance and the frostbite staggered it? Because that would be nice. Because I'm pretty sure frostbites can stagger it. Better than... I'm gonna grab it just because I'm here. Yeah, if you're too close and you're not walking backwards, yeah, I'm dead. I'm terrible at dodging that one. I need to add that. Yeah, I'm really bad at dodging that. I think the Moonlight Greatsword is going to drive me mad, though. Because trying to keep the buff up will be rough. Like, the buff is really annoying to upkeep. Because it doesn't last quite as long as I would like. There might be one of these that increases the duration that exists somewhere. But it just lasts half as long as I would like, maybe. I think that's partially because I'm not... I think it's mostly because of the amount of time she spends doing nothing. Which makes it... Also, I'm not using those, but I'm going to save those for the second phase. I think she just spends a lot of time sitting around doing nothing, and that burns through the buff. Okay, no, I definitely can't fully charge that. Like, unless it will stagger every single time, I don't think it's safe. I am gonna greed for shots like that when she just stands there. Because I think if she's standing and doing nothing... Okay. Just figuring out spacing. It's greedy to heal here, but it works because she just does nothing. I think if she's standing that far away and not even attacking, it's in my best interest to go for a beam attack, even if it won't hit. Because I think that has a tendency to make her actually step in to attack you. I mean, this buff might be really easy to upkeep if you can just run away because she just stands there and does nothing like that. Come on. Okay. Greedy. Yeah. It was a bad time to attack. It's fun to try to figure out, though, when I can work with the... try to get beam attacks in here and there. Like, I'll do one more attempt. Actually, you know what? I will do one more attempt, but I'm going to try one attempt with this. Do one jumping attack focused attempt. Basically to see how it goes. I'm not going to... if I kill her, I won't. But if I do, then I do. But I'm not even going to try to focus on buffing. I'm mostly just going to focus on guaranteed damage. Yeah, that attack is rough because the third swing of the first attack, if you're too close to her, I don't think you can really dodge it. I hate this boss. Oh, the amount of time she spends sitting around doing nothing is so frustrating. Like, do something, please. I'm actually just gonna buff to do that so that she actually attacks me. Because you can get a lot of greedy hits in with the jump attacks. Like, it's not a good idea. But you sort of can just go for attacks like that here and there. And it's you will get punished a lot, but you can go for it. Whereas strong attacks, I don't think you can go for those because strong attacks are so slow. Just greed, as always. Come on, go for the stab there. Go for the stab, please. Like I said, it's run away and heal again. This is kind of... she's crazy aggressive, but she's not aggressive enough. I wanted to do this. Like, it's kind of nice that she lets you buff, but she shouldn't. Like, she shouldn't give you that much time where she just sort of walks around doing nothing. That was bad timing. I think my only hope there was to try to get a proc of Frost, because that was too close. Yeah, it didn't really go better. There's too much time where she just sits there doing nothing. Now, if she was fully aggressive all the time, it might be worse. That's potentially very true. The amount of time she doesn't do anything is so frustrating. Like, I find it so much more annoying when she just stands there. Because you can't attack. You can't safely attack her when she stands there doing nothing. And that just makes it frustrating. I wonder if I can do this. If I do 2 real quick follow-ups. That's definitely not safe. Oh, I thought it was just out of range. Yeah, if I do a quick, and then a quick. It's probably not safe, but it might drive me less insane if I do this. Because if you're already running away from her, that attack is fine. Kind of like Waterfowl Dance. If Waterfowl Dance starts as you're running away, it's a non-issue. Because if you're far enough away to begin with, it's not dangerous. But yeah, the amount of time she just sort of paces at you is really annoying. Come on, go for a stab, please. The stab at least gives me a chance. See? The issue there was locking onto her. I forgot that the best way that I learned previously to deal with that... Ah! every previous one, I was like, okay, I'll greed here. I'll go for the greed. Every single previous one, she doesn't do the stab. The one time I greed, she does the stab. It's just to always remind you, don't get greedy. But I'm going to stop attempts now. Oh, did I miss a count? Did I miss a count? I might have. If I missed a count, I'll add it next time before I start the next set of kills attempts next episode. But yeah, it's fine. I remembered, yes, with Waterfowl Dance, if you start far enough away and you run away, run from the first one. If you're far enough to start, you can run from the second. Then you have to roll through, and you want to make sure you're unlocked, or I want to make sure that I am unlocked, because otherwise the roll becomes really awkward when she flies over your head. So, I'll continue right here next time. I'll check if I miscounted deaths, because I don't think I added one for the attempt with dual wielding. So, I'll check that, and then I'll continue trying to kill her next time. Did I change anything else? See, now that's an error. That would have been 10 or 20% more damage. Wouldn't have changed anything. I still would have died. Okay, but can't greed. Even if 4 times in a row on that same attack she doesn't attack, you can't greed. Just need to not get greedy. So, I'll continue next time on this boss. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.